Just a couple of guys, a couple of microphones, and a heck of a lot of know. It's Football on the Know with Jim and Joe.
What they say, it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a special edition of Football on the Know. Is the AFU NFL Sunday preview here. I am Jim McPhee, and of course, alongside me here is Joe DeCapita.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back for another edition of Football on the Know, or AFU, if you will, because AFU football, we're after you. Let's go. Can't wait to get these blue picks in.
Yeah, absolutely. And Thursday night's game was pretty exciting here. It was close like we thought it would be, and it comes down to it. Pittsburgh ends up pulling out the victory here in that close game. But Will Levis, I think, looked pretty good. And I think for them, Tennessee moving forward, I think they found their quarterback now, Joe. Moving on after Ryan Tannehill, I think he's in the house now.
I mean, after 2 games, it's nice to see like a rookie coming in, just like much like CJ Stroud when he came into the league. But he's had a lot more time in this season, obviously, as a starter to kind of show us what he can do. Will Levis, 2 great games. I mean, what can you say about a rookie coming in like that? Not even like was considered the starter early on. This guy that's just thrown to the wolves now. And so far, he's panning out. So let's wait and see, like, it gets a few more games under his belt before we can really dive in and say, hey, definite replacement. You know what I mean? They got their guy. Hopefully that's all going to work out for Tennessee. I know they're planning on it after missing on Malik Willis and him not being able to develop into the starter they envisioned. But now with Ryan Tannehill hurt, it's giving Levis an ample opportunity to show what he can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, I think the game in Germany is still going on, and it's a close one now. I mean, it looked like the Kansas City is going to run away with that one, Joe. Starting off the first half, 21-0. Miami has fought back here and got it within a touchdown.
And that's why you play 4 quarters, right? That's why you play
absolutely.
4 quarters.
Yep, absolutely. So that one, we're excited to see how that one ends up here in Germany. But let's get right to the preview of the rest of today's games here. Starting with the Vikings and the Falcons here, Joe. Again, Minnesota without Kirk Cousins now for the rest of the season. He's going to undergo surgery here with his Achilles. And, they end up, trading for Joshua Dobbs, but how much of the offense is he going to learn in this limited amount of time? So right now, the quarterback position is weak here for Minnesota, and it's tough for them because they had a chance, I think, to turn this page around after a slow start. But now with the injury to Kirk Cousins, it's a big factor here for them moving forward in this tight division. But here facing Atlanta, who's had some close games here, and they decided to move on with their quarterback. So we got a couple of fresh QBs here playing in this game. But the Atlanta Falcons, I think, with the experience there and it being at home, I like the Atlanta Falcons here in this one. What do you think about this one, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is like everybody, and here's the funny thing about Atlanta is right now they've come out and they publicly addressed like we still have faith in Ritter, but we're gonna bench him.
Yeah,
kind of contradicting yourselves, aren't you?
Right.
Because if you had that much faith in him, he'd still be the starter. But I think, just like you, Jim, like we both agreed in the offseason that Taylor Heinicke should really be given the reins for this offense and see what he can do as a full-fledged starter. But now he gets his opportunity. We saw him in limited snaps like last week. Now he's deemed the starter and had a full week of first-team reps to kind of get that chemistry. Now we're going to see what Taylor Heinicke can do for the Atlanta Falcons in this offense. Unfortunately, though, they are going to be without Drake London, their number 1 wide receiver, due to injury. He won't be able to play. Grady Jarrett, unfortunately, on the defense is out with an injury, so that's another big loss for them. But I still feel like that Atlanta team with Taylor Heinicke at the head here at quarterback, I think he gives them a way better shot of winning the games. So that being said, I like Atlanta in this one easily.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. So all right, let's moving on to the the Arizona Cardinals here and the Browns. Cardinals again moving on from Dobbs here, so it's trying to get back to what they were probably planning this season was kind of going to be like here. But we'll see. Again, just a team that's kind of trying to rebuild right now, or at least make it through this season and see what they can do in the next upcoming draft to trying to build this team moving forward here. And the Browns, now I think they just said that Deshaun Watson is good to start now. Is that correct? He's gonna be able to start now in this game. So we haven't been able to see him in a few weeks here. So it could be different from them, but it's a good time to face, a team like this. If you're coming back off that injury, trying to get reacclimated here again after at times he's looked up and down, but to go against the Cardinals here at home with that defense there, it's a good spot for the Browns to pull out a victory here at home and kind of make that push now this time, as long as they can stay healthy here, because that defense with what they have is really geared up to try and make a push here.
I mean, and that's the thing is, like, we talk about the Browns defense. We've talked about them for weeks now, how good they are, how they've really come together this season, and how impactful they've been throughout the league. Like, they're seeing it right now as one of the better defenses in the league, and rightfully so. They got a ton of pass rush. They can cover extremely well. They do everything well. So that's the highlight of the game, to be honest. It's going to be determined by the Browns defense, who's going to be winning this game. Like, the Cardinals, don't write them off just yet. I know they're starting another rookie quarterback in Clayton Tune, who I kind of had him kind of high on my quarterback rankings coming out of the draft. Let's see what he can do as a young protege. So Cardinals, I still feel like they're going to be competitive. They're not going to be kind of walked over like we initially thought in the beginning of the year. Kyler Murray yet being benched again, so they're being extra careful with Kyler Murray. Looks like he's going to probably start next week. And then as far as Deshaun Watson and the Browns, I'm a little concerned for Watson, because they've been extremely cautious with him, to the point where I almost think that they're going to be kind of one-dimensional as much as possible this week with their running backs. With Ford and Kareem Hunt, I think they're going to try to run the ball an awful lot and try to use the backfield more than try to put the game on his shoulders coming back from that injury. So that even being said, I'm still going to rock with Cleveland just because their defense is so good.
Yeah, absolutely. Number one ranked defense in the NFL. And like you said, to run the rock, that's what they got to do right now. They still got the 8th ranked rushing attack here for them, passing 30th. And that's the thing, though. When you got a guy like Deshaun Watson here, when you're paying him what you expected to pay him here and what you're doing, you expect more out of him. So he's kind of step up and get back involved in this, because he was before everything that went down, with the massage parlor and all this other stuff and blah blah blah. He was one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. And that's what they're kind of paid for right now. So he's got to get back to that. And then if he does, that's what I mean with this rushing attack, even though you don't have Nick Chubb there. And on top of that, if he could be who he was just a few years back, they're Super Bowl contender, I'd say, even at this point, because the way that they're able to that defense wins championships. And we've seen number one defenses take out the number one ranked offense many times, especially in the Super Bowl. So if he can get back to where he was just a little bit, and make a run here in this second half now of the season, expect the Browns to make a big push here.
Yeah, he's had a rough go of it. I mean, let's just say what it is. The guy hasn't been on the field enough to even return back to where the glory days of him as a Texan. And that's the thing. It's like, even this year, look at all the injuries this guy sustained already. He's already missed a bunch of games, like he's missed a quarter of the season already. So kind of hard to get back into the swing of things, if you're Deshaun Watson, if you're not being able to play. So hopefully he stays healthy from here on out, and we're going to see a much different Deshaun Watson as we get down to the stretch.
Absolutely. All right. Next up, we've got the Rams and the Packers. We just found out again that Matthew Stafford will not play in this game. So that's a big factor for the Rams going forward in this one, because the Packers, they've got to be able to take an opportunity like this. When all of a sudden Stafford is not playing on that offense, you got to be licking your chops here, especially on the defensive side. They got to really step up here and help that offense out, because in the last few weeks, they've kind of been spitting and sputtering a little bit here and Jordan Love trying to really find himself, and he's starting to make some of those kind of rookie mistakes. This is a good team or a good game to try and reset it and try and get moving forward here, but rely on your defense to keep you in the game and pull out a victory here at home in a Rams team that does not have Stafford here.
Yeah, even though they don't have Stafford, I wouldn't say the Rams are going to be anywhere like a pushover.
Like a pushover, yeah, absolutely.
But what I will say is they do have another young quarterback in Ripken, I guess his last name is. Didn't think we would ever call his name this season at all. But here he is. He's going to get his chance to start. But good for him. He's got really good receivers to throw to. He's got Cooper Kupp that he can rely on. He's got the rookie sensation for the Rams, Puka Nacua, out there, which he was even in jeopardy of possibly missing this game, but they made him active. So, and the Rams defense, they've kind of been a little shaky the last couple of weeks, but maybe they can turn things around this week. That gives the Rams an opportunity to still pull off a win. But Green Bay, I feel like, just like you mentioned, Jim, like this could be a chance for them, and it is a chance for them to maybe steal a win away from a Rams team that not a lot of people favored for them to do so. So it's an opportunity where they can steal a win. Jordan Love, he just has to limit mistakes, really. That's really what this game for the Packers has to come down to, is just manage the game. Don't try to do too much. Take what they're giving you defensively. And Green Bay's defense has to help him out too. They can't, they can't just give up points, in this game and rely on Love in the offense to storm back. That's not going to happen. So I'm going to go just with the fact that Stafford's not playing. I got to lean towards Green Bay, even though they've been a little shaky. I got to go with them. They're at home. Those fans are tenacious. They're amazing. So going with Jordan Love and the Packers.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I think defense got to be a big part of that game and help them moving forward to keep them in it. Because if offense is, like I said, has been off, but they need to stay balanced, run the football, stay in the game. Like I said, if defense stays in the game, then they're not trying to say come back and try and rely on Jordan Love to fire him back in to get in there, because then that's where teams get it ahead. They know you're passing, so then they know what you're going to be doing, and then they pin their ears back and just go after you. And that'd be good for like an Aaron Donald. Absolutely, you're playing right into him. So, all right, next we've got the Commanders and the Patriots here, Joe. Patriots, that up and down team. It's like you never know what you're going to get every week here. Commanders, they just traded away their two best defenders here, so it looks like they're moving forward. So what are we going to see out of this team now? When you don't have those two guys on your interior and things on defense helping you out for that pass rush, what do you got here? It's going to be tough for them. And Sam Howell, at times it looks really good for me. I mean, I'm kind of mixed feelings about Sam Howell. I like his ability to run in here and there and make some plays out of nothing. But again, I think just growing pains here, little rookie mistakes that you make. But I don't know. They're like that in-between team, so it's tough to guess. So I think these two teams are really gauged equally right now. But I would only give the nod to the Patriots just because they're at home. And Bill Belichick, well, you said, always tries to game plan against, what the Commanders have. But right now, they just got to shut down scary Terry McLaurin, I think, at this point.
That's the thing, too, is like they have weapons. So it's not like you can try to take Terry McLaurin out of the game, but they still have Jahan Dotson. They still have Brian Robinson Jr. in the backfield. Like they have Logan Thomas, a tight end, who finally emerged last week, being very productive last week. But all in all, like I'll kind of pick off where you end with Sam Howell. Is I feel like a lot of that is attributed to the lack of pass protection for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's been forced to get rid of the ball way too early sometimes. He's been forced to do exactly what you were saying about him having to make plays with his legs and create some, off-scripted plays that way. And he's done that very well. But I feel like until Washington solidifies that offensive line, we're not going to really see the real Sam Howell yet. We've seen glimpses of him being very good. And then obviously, like you mentioned, mistakes happen too. So, I mean, for Washington on the defensive side, yes, they traded away 2 of their starting pass rushers. First time I've ever seen that happen.
Yeah.
Montez Sweat, like we kind of alluded to, Chicago did in turn give him a long-term extension this couple of days ago. So they're locking him up. Chase Young goes to the Niners. At least you got 2 really good D tackles. I mean, that's all you could say. Like, you got Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne in the middle. That's nice. But I'm just curious, who's starting at end now for them? Like, they must have some kind of younger players that they like enough to where they were willing to trade those 2 guys away. We'll have to wait and see in this game. But for New England, this is a team that has struggled mightily offensively. I really don't know what to make of New England right now. Sometimes there's a couple games that they had this year where it was like, wow, right back on track, hitting the tight ends, running the football, doing what they need to do to open up this offense. And then there's a lot more times where you're seeing, wow, I don't recognize New England anymore. Defensively, they still have a good defense. That kind of gives them a chance to win this game. This is going to be a very hard-fought game. I'm going to go with New England just because they're home. They're in a better environment for themselves, and they usually play better at home. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Patriots, hoping they can take down the Commanders.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, me too as well. Like I said, they're at home. I think it's just a better setup for now against the Commanders. Next up, we've got the oops, I misspelled that one for some reason, but that's a typo. The Bears and the Saints here. The Bears again now just acquired Montez Sweat. So hopefully that with Eberflus, he's got a lot better of a pass rush here to fight off against these Saints here. But the Saints, they've been a kind of funny team too. I thought they were going to play a little bit better coming out of the season and kind of be that team to beat in this division, but they're still, it seemed like they're not on the same page, trying to work some things out, some bugs out between Derek Carr and the receivers. But again, leading towards now the second half of the season, they right the ship. And I think they make their push now and their run here to show their dominance, I think, in this division, to where Tampa Bay, you're still seeing like Baker Mayfield be his Baker Mayfield. You know what I mean? Still have his issues where he's up and down, being that gunslinger, making those mistakes to kind of ruin the game a little bit at times, I think, for the Bucs. But the Saints here, I think, got a real opportunity to play here at home against the Bears. Bears still feeling things out with Bagent, see how it goes with him. But, just trying to make it through the season, I think, right now, and hope that Justin Fields can get healthy and move on to next season. But here we go. We got the Saints here at home. I'm going to go with the Saints.
Yeah, I think with the Bears, they trade away, they did get Montez Sweat. That's all great and all, but you're still a beat-up football team. You still don't have all your starters back. Jalen Johnson looks like he's kind of checked out, doesn't even want to be a Bear anymore. There's a lot of very, very fluid situations happening in Chicago at this moment. So, I mean, I don't really know how all in the Bears teammates are. With Eberflus as the coach, I'm willing to bet that this team doesn't have total confidence in him as a coach right now. They're not as they don't have as much turmoil as some other teams have had to go through thus far. But something's not right there, and it doesn't seem like they're ever getting it right. You look the defense, okay, you made the trade. Now offensively, what are you doing in the future? I don't think there's been any kind of total confidence in keeping Fields long term, and everybody's still begging the question, is Fields our guy after this year? Or should we go a different direction? Do we want to really reset all this and blow it up? So Chicago's not really sure what they're doing, and I think that goes for on and off the field. And then the Saints. I feel like the Saints offense is starting to get things right. Last week, started to notice some plays that really worked out well for them. Saw better protection up front, and I wonder, now they're starting to get on the same page. The receivers with communication, the offensive coordinator, Derek Carr, I feel like they're all starting to just in the very beginning stages of getting back to the offense that we kind of envisioned them to be. So, and they already have an awesome Saints defense. We all know that. So I think obviously the Saints are going to come away with this win, and Chicago's still going to be left in the dust trying to figure things out. Hopefully Fields comes back next week, and then we can really try to see what Chicago actually is.
All right, we got a shout out here to Jeremy Klutz in the house with us tonight. Or today. I'm gonna get that one of these days. Also, our man Stephen Murray's checking us out here this morning. Here it says, "Afternoon, fellas. Happy belated birthday to Joe, and happy birthday to you, Jim." Okay, my birthday was 2 months ago, but yeah, I wanted to bring that up today, Joe. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, absolutely. So we're celebrating Joe's birthday with us here, and we've got a comment here with Ropa Gibting. It says go. So I don't know what that means, but maybe
where we go?
Go Saints. Maybe go something else. Go to hell. I don't know. All right. So shout out to all those guys, and of course now we just got in Mike Tackett. He's in the house. There he is. Here he goes. He's got a paragraph, Joe. Here it comes. All right. Here you go. KC averages 73,500 fans per home game. Today's game in Germany had just 51,000 fans for the home team Chiefs. Is the NFL confident enough to sacrifice 22,000 fans for a good team in hopes to grow the NFL audience internationally? Or does this suggest, I got to read the rest here. Hold on. Suggest the NFL would be comfortable with an international franchise having the fewest fans in attendance. For reference, the Bears are last in home attendance at 62,000 fans per home game. So basically, 7,000 difference between a home game for the fans of the Bears here for for Germany. But did they cap on how many fans could be there in that stadium? Are those stadiums smaller? I mean, because it seems like because you see the Tua or it was the kick, I think, that ended up hitting the Jumbotron or something like that and made the play ineligible today.
Well, the stadiums are different. They're not NFL stadiums.
Yeah,
they're converting soccer fields into NFL stadiums. So it's like usually, I mean, I'll say this: like overseas, like soccer is like bigger than American football, and I would say even the world. I feel like that's like the number one sport in the world where fans are all in. But over there, like the soccer fields, like I don't know what their seating capacity is over there because stadiums, they range quite a bit. Like you've seen NFL stadiums have like 80,000 seat capacity. You've seen them have 75,000, 100,000. Like college football has even bigger ones than the NFL. So I really don't know, like stat wise for the Chiefs, that's all well and good, but like how about did they sell out? And how many seats is that? Because from what Mike was basically saying is that the Chiefs team has 51,000.
Yes.
So if the Dolphins fans combine,
73,000.
If the Dolphins team combine to fill that out, and it's more if it's a bigger capacity, then the NFL seems to know what they're doing because they know they're going to sell the seats out. That's what it is. It's such a unique event for overseas, for them to witness American football right in front of them in their own backyard, that they're willing to pay and sell these stadiums out. So I think as far as like growing the fan base overseas, it all works out. But I don't foresee in the future, because I know they're going to have these conversations, probably have already had them, where they might experiment with having a franchise overseas. Or I've even heard rumors of a Super Bowl maybe being put overseas somewhere. So I disagree with how that would take place. I don't think that would work out logistically and financially for a lot of teams. Obviously, we're all in the States, so you're gonna do what? Like once in a while, like you're gonna have to go overseas, and then they're gonna come over here like 8 weeks out of the year. Like it's gonna be crazy, maybe more. So. I don't know. That being said, like I love the fact that they're broadening their horizons, so to speak, like to be able to show American football overseas, and they love it. They absolutely love it over there, and that's awesome. But I don't know what the down the road scope looks like for the NFL.
Yeah. Again, they're filling it out. I think the fact that they're filling out the stadiums, I think is positive. But who knows moving forward if they do bring a franchise over there or not. And I think for the building it nationally or globally, I think outweighs what I think Mike is talking about. Of now, if it was a Chiefs game, they're going to sell out and get their 73,000 fans there. But now you're sacrificing only get 55,000. I think they'll sacrifice it and get the 55,000 fans for the international stage over, or just again being at home and being it broadcast there.
But the thing about that is that it's not about just the Chiefs team. Like how many
Exactly.
tickets that those fan bases are there? Okay, 51,000, but then you have the Dolphins fans there. It's that one stadium that's selling out, and that's really what it's about for them. So I think the argument for they don't have as many fans as they would at home. Of course, it's Kansas City. It's not overseas, but that's pretty amazing when you think about it. 51,000 Chief fans overseas.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah, it is pretty good. Absolutely. That means it's working, right? Brandon DeCapita is in the house. He says that the Dolphins blew the game, so it is. They end up losing that game. Couldn't pull it out. But hey, when you get off to a slow start like that, and then you try to come back after being down 21-0 in the first half, it's tough sometimes. But you know what they really did? They shot themselves in the foot. The turnovers were major, things like that. And if you lose a turnover game, most times you lose the game.
If any team was going to be able to come back, it'd be Miami. And they actually did start to come back. They were right there within a touchdown. So even though they had a rough first half, they came back, they got back in the game, and to be within one score, to let it slip, like you had momentum. You got to capitalize on everything.
All right. Stephen Murray has a comment. He says, what are your thoughts on the $21,694 fine for the Ravens fullback, Patrick Richard, for an unnecessary roughness play where he was run blocking during a touchdown run? No penalty called in real time. He just pancaked the guy and stayed fully engaged. TJ Watt was not happy about it.
Something else had to happen. It wasn't just a pancake block. There must have been something that was done, something that that the referee might have overheard and reported it to the NFL, because you don't get fined for pancake blocks.
Yeah, and he posts a link too, so people can check out that video then too. There's the link for you. There he is there with the comment. So check out the link too. Tell us what you guys think about it. You think it was a clean play or not too, and why. But we've kind of seen this, I think, a few times too, when there wasn't actually a penalty called for certain things, and then the NFL decides, hey, this is not right, we're going to fine you guys for this. I mean, we've seen it even with some of the touchdown celebrations though too. They don't call like penalties about flagrant unnecessary, or what would they even call it before? It was unsportsmanlike conduct. Remember when they would jump into, Zeke Elliott would jump into the Salvation Army bucket. They allow him to dance and everything now, right? They allow him to dance and do these moves or whatever afterwards, predetermined type of dance moves and celebrations. But then certain things they're still finding people for, like the dumping the beer with Tyreek Hill and things like that. I think it's odd. You know what I mean? I think if they're getting engaged with the fans and stuff too, it's not like, he was consuming the beer and drinking it all and things like that too. It's like some of these fines I think that they impose afterwards, I think are kind of ridiculous at times. So
when you think about it with the NFL, it's all imagery. It's image on the NFL. You're an NFL player, and you shouldn't even be holding a beer while you're playing. Like that, they're not trying to promote certain things that it might be even against NFL policies that we don't even not really sure about. Like that, we know that there's some underlining rules in the book that are specified, like even like uniform, the way you wear your uniform, the way you wear your socks. Like there's all kinds of different layers of that rule book that they have the right to fine you, because you're supposed to present yourself a certain way. You're supposed to not utilize props in your celebrations, because that's what really drove those celebrations to almost be outcast of the NFL. So now they still allow them to celebrate, yes, but only if they're just doing the celebration themselves or with their team. They're not allowed to use props or anything like that anymore. So as far as the fines go, like there's some things where the NFL frowns upon, and it might not be a penalty. It might not be. It might be something that you did that the referees didn't see. So if the NFL sees it, be aware that expect a bill in the mail.
Absolutely. All right, next move forward to the games that we're previewing today. Thank you so much, everybody, joining us. We love the comments out there. Keep them coming. Seahawks and the Ravens. This one is going to be a good matchup here. Right now, Vegas has it marked out that Ravens will take it 25-22. Seahawks, again, top-ranked defense here, ranked 7th overall. Offense a little slower here start, but enough to stay in the games and do well. And like we said before about Geno Smith, yes, he's taken a step back from what last year was, but when you play your best season ever, it's tough to equal it or do better the next season here. But they're getting it done. The defense is playing great, and now with the addition of Leonard Williams right there, the D tackle situation here, this defense could only get scarier here. But they got a tough opponent in the Ravens here, which have the second-ranked rushing attack and the third-ranked defense on top of it too. So two defenses going at it here. Which offense is going to be able to pull it out? I've got the Ravens here because they are playing at home, and it's tough. Let's see how good this Seattle defense is and how they can contain, the quarterback here for the Ravens.
Well, I really think that for this matchup alone, it's going to be a defensive battle. It's definitely going to be that. But I think one of the key things for the Ravens to win is to stop Kenneth Walker III, shut down that running game, shut down Zach Charbonnet, the backup rookie, really make them one-dimensional, because I think that's what's going to help them. Because with Geno Smith, we could say maybe he struggled a little bit this season, or maybe it was just as simple as the defenses figured Geno out. The defenses are making it harder on Geno Smith. So going up against another star-studded defense in Baltimore Ravens going to be an uphill climb for Geno. Do not make mistakes, otherwise this game will get out of hand. I love the Ravens' physicality. I love how they really grind it out on the offense. And with Lamar Jackson, with the ball in his hands, you really can't just key on any one thing. You got to be aware of everything. Options, him running himself, him just throwing the football right over your head to Mark Andrews in the end zone. So Seattle's got to be very poised on defense. They got to be aware of every little weapon on the football field. I think it's going to be a really close game. I have to say, I agree with the sports books out there. Basically winning by a field goal. It's kind of what I see. We saw Seattle have a tough game against Cleveland. I think it's going to be yet another really tough game against Baltimore in a very hostile environment. I got the Ravens.
Absolutely. Next, we've got
I'm wearing purple. I got purple on. I got to pick the Ravens.
Oh, wow. There you go. Right. Nice. You look good in purple, Joe. There you go. That fits you. All right. Next, we got the Buccaneers and the Texans here. Both teams at 3-4. Texans again, kind of, let it loose here, against the Panthers team that was hungry for a victory here. And I think this one's going to be a lot tougher here, though. The fighting out against the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers just have a lot of good talent here. And like I said, I think if it's minus a few mistakes by Baker Mayfield here and there, I think their record's even a little better. But overall, the Texans have been playing a lot better than expected this season. They're going to try and right the ship. They do play better at home. This is going to be a tough one, but I'm going to roll with the Bucs just because of the personnel that they have here. But I wouldn't count out the Texans right away here with that 8th-ranked defense.
Yeah, Buccaneers, the only thing that's really holding back the Bucs is their quarterback position. Baker Mayfield making way too many mistakes. Baker Mayfield's even missing guys that are wide open. It's absolutely crazy to me how far he's fallen. Since you were a Ram, everybody was like, "Oh, we want that new toy on our offense," and now it's like, no, we don't want him anymore. So with the Bucs, they got crazy talent. They have a lot of talent on defense. They have a lot of talent on offense, and we all know that. But really, with their offense, it's so up and down all the time, and it's mostly down. That it makes it really hard to kind of have all the confidence in the world to pick them. With the Texans, I know what I'm getting right now. They have a solid offensive line, better than people give them credit for, And I feel like that right there is going to give them a real big chance on winning this game. CJ Stroud had a rough go of it last week. I think he returns back to what we normally have seen from him. And they have other weapons. Nico Collins coming into his own as a number one receiver for the Texans. Damian Pierce at running back. The list goes on and on. And then the Texans defensively I'm sorry, they are making plays. Pass rush, they're getting after the quarterback. Even coverage-wise, they're making some plays. So that all being said, I got to roll with the Texans in this one at home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's gonna be. I'm excited to watch it. I mean, it could go either way. So I think it's gonna be a pretty good game. Next, we've got the Colts and the Panthers here. Joe, Panthers pull out their first victory here. Congratulations to them. Trying to ruin their chances maybe at the number one pick. Who knows? We'll see if they can string a few together here. But the Colts here again, up and down because you got Minshew in there. You're undecided on what how that game's going to pour out. You're going to get the good, but you also get the bad at times. Sometimes when he's driving down, leading the team, looks pretty good, makes a lot of good plays with his legs. But then again, you're going to get some of those mistakes. That's why he's kind of been that backup quarterback to travel throughout multiple teams. Not exactly been that true stand-in starter that's going to be around for a franchise for a while, but enough to get it done a lot of times here. But the Colts, we talked about it, I think, on our show on Wednesday about getting the running game involved. And how like you said, you not only Jonathan Taylor, but they sprinkle it around to a few of their backs. I think with them, they need to stay balanced here again to not put it so much on Gardner Minshew as much here. Run off that running game here. The defense, I think, is pretty good. And against a Panthers team, again, that they should be able to beat. I'm going to take the Colts in this one. Right now, the win probability here through AWS is Indianapolis 53 to Carolina 47. So they think it's a lot closer than a lot of people might expect in this one.
Oh, I mean, Panthers, congratulations. You got your win. You still suck. I mean, bottom line, like you got a long road ahead. We already knew that they were rebuilding. So for Bryce Young, good for him. It's a confidence builder, I guess, but it's going to be a rough road ahead. We've seen this guy get hit numerous times every single week. I'm still wondering how he's standing up. So, I mean, protection-wise, they're lacking. Defensively, what was once a very young and, prideful group, not seeing the same type of tenacious defense like we once saw with the Panthers. So, and then you have the Colts, like you mentioned, Jim, like Gardner Minshew, like he's shown glimpses of like he's the true starter, and then he's been like, why do we have him on the roster? So we've seen him turn over the ball a lot and everything like that. And like you mentioned, like they do got to stay balanced. They have to. Like, you got to be able to run the ball. I just think you need to give a lot more touches to Jonathan Taylor, though. Guy that's fully healthy, former I mean, he's just been an absolute gangbuster at running back. So get him more involved. Utilize the passing game, throw the ball around, mix in some even like plays to the tight ends, kind of like keep the defense guessing. Colts on defense, I'm not thrilled about them either. Like, they play cover 3 predominantly, and they give up all these like slant routes and post patterns, and they just leave guys wide open because they just like to stay in cover 3. I don't understand it. They're relying way too much on their defensive line. They have a good one, but geez, if your D-line can't get there, then it's an issue on the back end. So I'm rolling the dice on this one. I'm hoping the Colts can pull out a win here. Maybe Minshew limits his mistakes this week.
Absolutely. All right, Joe, here we go. This is the football in the no game, right? Should we always call Giants and Raiders the football in the no game? Maybe we will moving forward, because this is my team versus your team. And as of late, they've given us a lot of stuff to talk about, right? How bad both of the teams are. It's tough for us every week. We have definitely to complain about.
Talk about that.
I don't know, but now we get to talk about it here, and they're facing each other. Last time we were able to watch them when they played in the Meadowlands. We went to that game, but now this one's going to be in Vegas, which I think bodes really well for the Raiders, because I think they really do step up and play better at their stadium. But the Giants, again, they've kind of been that funny team almost as of late. under Tyrod Taylor, but then you had Tommy DeVito fill in for a little bit. I know people don't know him so much that they're even calling him Danny DeVito when they're when they're saying the lights and everything, which I thought was freaking hilarious. But we're expecting Daniel Jones to come back in this game, so that's an upside for the Giants. And the Giants have been playing some tough games against some tough opponents here and kind of hanging in there again, but just falling short and being on the losing side of some of this stuff.
Do we have the injury report for the Giants for this game? Because did they act? I'm just wondering, like, did they activate Evan Neal and Thomas, or just one of them?
Thomas says it still is questionable. Evan Neal is questionable, so I don't know. Maybe
oh my God, dude! Thomas, get off your ass and get back in the game, dude. Like, stop milking this injury. What? I think he's got to be healthy by now. So what? I don't know. It's just like one of these things where, like, you kind of wonder about a player's about his love for the game. You know what I mean? Or just love for his own teammates to be out there and help them. So Giants, man, to what it sounds like is they're not going to have any starting offensive linemen at this point. They're playing with guys that don't even belong to be the backups. So we've seen this team struggle mightily, and really most of it can be attributed to that lack of protection, to that lack of run blocking. And I know people get on Daniel Jones. I get on Daniel Jones myself. I don't think he's the answer for the Giants, but he gives them – he's their starter. You know, you sign him to an extension. We can bitch, moan, and complain about how bad he plays at times, but he's the starter now, and that's what the Giants decided. So trust in the coaching staff and hope that they can kind of get him to play a little bit better down the stretch, and maybe it starts here. But I think without having that offensive line, it's just too big of a hurdle to get over. Saquon Barkley is going to be asked to do a lot, as he always has been. And honestly, like, the defense is really what's going to help this Giants team. It's not the offense. It's going to be the defense. Defense has really kind of come on strong the last couple of weeks for the Giants. Yeah. And I think the Raiders, like, they're another team. Like, they have their starting offensive linemen for the most part, but they're the only one guy that's on the team plays left tackle, and he can't block everybody for you. So I just think that they're going to also struggle with protection, struggle with opening holes. And with a rookie quarterback in there, I think the Giants defense is licking their chops right now. I really do. And Wink Martindale is going to confuse the rookie. He's going to pressure the rookie every snap. And it's going to make it 10 times harder for the Raiders to put points on the board. Raiders defense, as good as they've been playing with little to very little talent. I mean, honestly, like, they got a little bit, but it's not much. So they've been overachieving a little bit, overexceeding expectations there on defense. I feel like, and as long as the Giants can limit Max Crosby, double team him, triple team him, I don't care if you got to put 4 tight ends out there in a formation to block them.
If they have them,
you got to worry about. Yeah. So I think in the end, I think the Giants are going to win this. I think it's going to be close all the way through because, let's just face it, both teams suck right now. And neither team is able to figure out their weaknesses yet. But I think the Giants have a better chance of figuring it out this week. I'm going New York.
All right. Well, the one thing is that I think the Giants, depending on how it is, but no Graham Gano. So if it ends up being a game of field goals and things like that, I'm wondering how much they're going to.
You can use Danny Carlson to kick your field goals too. He needs to practice. So
they've got Randy Bullock in there, I think so. I mean, but we'll see. I don't know. We haven't seen a lot of Randy Bullock. So yeah. So let's see what happens with that, because I'm wondering if it comes down to a game of field goals, how much the Giants rely on him, and if they go for maybe the first down more, say it's 4th and close, maybe they don't want to go and kick the field goal. Maybe you'll see them go for it on 4th down more often.
Could we possibly see this game? We might even have an NFL record on our hands with most field goals kicked by both teams in a single game in history. It could happen.
Most kicked and missed, possibly.
Kicked.
No.
Most kicked.
Yes.
Field goals in a game, a single game.
We shall see. We shall see. Yeah, I give the edge to the Giants again just because of that defense. Even though they don't have, a Leonard Williams there anymore, I don't think that's a big factor because the way they blitz with their secondary so much. But we'll see. We'll see moving forward. And you gotta hope that having now, even though you don't have your offensive line fully healthy, but the fact that you do have Daniel Jones there and Saquon Barkley together, you got to be able to get some kind of running game going, whether it be from Daniel Jones or Saquon Barkley, and that passing game can stay alive as long. You've seen, Wan'Dale Robinson stay healthy for multiple weeks, and you saw what Tyrod Taylor is able to do with them. I think in the Giants too, this has got to be the game that they got to get Jalen Hyatt involved too as well. He's got to be a big part of their offense here.
They should just let him play the rest of the season because we've seen flashes of him making huge plays. Got to get if the hot hand is there, let him play. It's just like when Barkley came into the league as a rookie, was phenomenal, and now Hyatt's here. Give him more chances. Put him in the starting lineup. Let's see what we got in him.
Absolutely. All right. Next, moving forward, we got the Cowboys and the Eagles. That's this afternoon's big game that everybody's excited about. Cowboys looking pretty strong right now, putting up some big points, but we've also seen them falter and fall flat on their face when it comes to a playoff contending team. So this is a divisional rival. It's gonna be tough, but it is in Philly too, so it's a lot tougher to play there too. You know where those fans are; they're bigger douchebags than the Cowboys fans are. So you're gonna have double the amount of douchebags in one stadium at once. I don't know how the world could handle this right now.
I'm more interested in the fights that are gonna happen in Philly.
Oh yeah,
I'm way more interested in that.
They're gonna be like this,
dude. I'll tell you right now, Philly fans, man. Philly fans on these Cowboys. The Cowboy fans better be ready. All the advice I'm going to give you is if you're going to Philly and you're a Cowboys fan, do not wear your colors, bro. Just don't. Don't do it.
All right, we've got Stephen Murray that's in here too. He says the Giants versus Raiders, great preseason game.
It would be a preseason game if it wasn't the regular season, but
yeah, I know.
Maybe it's the first time in NFL history that we're gonna have a preseason game in the middle of the year.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at the schedule here for the TV around here, because again, they'd have to be a local affiliate. But I'm wondering CBS is going to put that game on just because the Raiders are AFC, so the Giants are going on one channel. But I know definitely that for the Fox, they're going to be putting Eagles and Cowboys there. So it'd be sad if you're the local affiliate and you don't want to put the local team on. You're going to actually put Cowboys. Philadelphia.
I wonder if this game also the NFL has a disclaimer for the winner. Like the winner, you get to stay in the league. The loser, you have to leave.
Yeah, the winner, you get free Taco Bell. There you go. There you go. All right. So next, yes, we've got the Cowboys and Eagles again. Joe, I think this could be tough. I'm looking to see something from the Cowboys. This was a tough one for me, but again, Philadelphia, what they've got on defense, especially now they're getting healthier again, getting everybody together on the same team. I think they're going to play better here at home. I like the Philadelphia Eagles to take this one, but looking at the Cowboys, I'm looking to see more from them. How much can they contend in this game? I'm hoping it's going to be close. I'm pretty sure it is. I wouldn't be surprised if they could pull out the victory here, but it's a lot tougher in Philly. What do you think, Joe?
I mean, this game, it's going to be a game. It's going to be a game that I want to watch for sure. I want to see both these teams go at it because neither team has been able to kind of take off and become who we thought they were going to be. Like Philadelphia struggled offensively. They're still not they're still not the shell of themselves that they were last year, where it seemed like they were dominant offensively no matter what week they were playing. Defensively, they were getting after teams. I'm not seeing that. I see the defense is playing well. I just don't see the offense. So maybe the Eagles are going to try to grind it out and try to show some people that they can still score big time points against the Cowboys defense. And the other thing too is the Cowboys defense, what are they doing to kind of counter, I guess, Micah Parsons being held up in these games? Do they need to blitz more? Do they need to have DeMarcus Lawrence somehow scheme him to be a free rusher? Because DeMarcus Lawrence been getting paid a lot of money to do what exactly? Get blocked by the left tackle. Haven't seen that dude in years now, it feels like. But Micah Parsons, a lot of teams are now starting to just double team him, try to take him out of the game, and that kind of opens up everything for their offenses. So look for the Eagles to kind of do the same thing against the Cowboys defense. And then for the Cowboys offensively, I don't have really any complaints. The last few weeks, the Cowboys offense has been blowing up the scoreboard. Like they've been putting points on the board there. So I think this might be one of those type of hard fought matches. Obviously it's a divisional, thing. So it's going to be low scoring most likely, unless the Eagles maybe start to get, pull away, making Cowboys one dimensional, and the defense kind of feeds off of that. So I'm going Eagles either way. It's in Philly. It's going to be tough to beat them there.
All right, absolutely. Now let's get to tonight's game, I think, which is the big one we're excited to see here. The Bills and the Bengals. Looks like a playoff preview, especially maybe even AFC Championship preview. We'll see moving forward with these teams. But if the Bills keep playing the way they've been playing, though, I don't know about that so much. You know what I mean? Because, again, offensively, they just can't seem to get it going all together. And on the defensive side, it seems like really losing Matt Milano, they've kind of really taken a step back, even though you've got Von Miller back and being able to, because you saw how much of a game changer he was last season. This season, not much.
Interesting you bring up Von Miller, because since Von Miller's been back, he hasn't done much of anything. He's been blocked. He's been taken out of games. And when you lose a key piece, like you mentioned, Matt Milano, and you have a returning Von Miller, you're hoping or expecting at least that with Von Miller there, he's going to help that kind of loss at the linebacking. He's going to get to the quarterback quicker. He's going to make the quarterback rush. And we're not seeing that. And so instead of just losing Matt Milano, it's almost like even with the return of Von Miller, you haven't gotten any better. So just like you mentioned, Jim, like that is not just a huge loss. What we're noticing now, looking at the Bills, is that defense runs extremely well with Matt Milano in the lineup, way better than without him. And it seems like they're still trying to search for answers defensively.
Yeah, and absolutely. And if you look at the matchups here, I mean, if you look at the rankings, they're totally opposite. It looks like the Bills should single-handedly easily take this game, being ranked 4th and 5th on the offensive and passing here. But and then in the Bengals, in the 30s and the 28s and things like that, they're looking terrible right now. But it's not what we see on the field. You know what I mean? The first couple of weeks, they were just absolutely putrid. But the last few, they've really got it going. They've really stayed balanced now, getting Joe Mixon more involved in the game, and that's opened up the passing game right there. And we've seen the connection between Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase really stepping off. And we've actually seen more of Joe Burrow getting open with his legs and making some plays too. If it's not there, he takes off running and gets the first down. So they're moving a lot more fluent right now and really gearing up now. It's like kind of what they do. They're always been, the last couple of seasons have been like late bloomers, started off a bit small and then finally make that push. And then, hey, lo and behold, here they are in the playoffs. They're making it to the AFC Championship game. So they're looking really dangerous right now. And I think that's why most people have them keyed up to win this game here at home in prime time, to where a Bills team, again, even though they're ranked high right now, just lately, as of late, can't seem to be clicking right now. So I'm riding with the same hot hand right now. I'm going to go with the Bengals here at home to maybe, is it called an upset the Bills?
I mean, I don't think it's really an upset. I think it's just one of those even-keeled games where it could go either way. But for the Bengals, you mentioned how like their offense as of late has kind of sparked up. It's kind of played much better and kind of almost looking mirroring themselves from last year. And we've talked about this on the show, Jim. In fact, I think we were one of the first shows to bring it up 3 weeks ago about how we need to get Joe Mixon more involved in the run game and to kind of help Joe Burrow open up this offense like it used to be. And that's exactly what they've done. Early on in the season, I think that's why they were struggling so much. They were so concentrated on distributing the football in the air, then they were worried about giving the ball to Joe Mixon to kind of help them open it up. So we're noticing that team is starting to find their identity once again. And especially their defense has always been good with DJ Reader, with Trey Hendrickson coming after the quarterback, Sam Hubbard. Like there's a lot to like with that Bengals team. So the Bills, I still don't know what the Bills are. Like Josh Allen lately has played much, much better as a quarterback, is limiting mistakes, is doing what the offense has to do. But defensively, the last couple of weeks, they've been giving up a lot on the ground. So I'm kind of wondering, is Cincinnati really going to kind of see? They've seen it on film, so they got to attack it, right? I mean, it just makes logical sense. You got to attack what you see as a weakness, and then I think in the end, that's really going to be the deciding factor. Is can the Bills' defense, without Matt Milano, help slow down or maybe even stop at times this Bengals offense is starting to kind of get some heat here. So I'm going to go with Cincinnati at home. That all being said, because honestly, I like what I see in the Bengals more than I have lately from the Bills.
Absolutely. All right, next, finally here, Monday Night Football. We've got the Chargers and the Jets. Again, Jets seem to get a lot done here with their defense. But then last game, they're kind of funny again. They play up and they beat those teams that we kind of foresee in the end being in the playoffs. But then last week struggled terribly against like a Giants team that's still trying to find identity, that went to their third string quarterback, like you said, because due to injury, Tyrod Taylor getting his ribs injured in that game again, and go to Tommy DeVito, and they still were in it to where even Graham Gano just misses that kick. If he makes it, I mean, it's a whole different story. And we're complaining about the Jets, like, wow, you guys couldn't even beat these guys now, the pitiful Giants. But now they got to face the Chargers team to kind of seem like they're righting the ship finally. I can't believe, and we talked about it on our show too, that and I said it, Justin Herbert has brought up the fact that the finger is bothering him so much that it's affected his gameplay. And the fact that it is that much, I mean, I think it's ridiculous because it's not even your throwing hand. So I don't know if he's just a big baby or what the issue is. But that's kind of been their whole thing, because besides that, the offense, Austin Eckler has been doing well. They needed to dish it out to him more often because he's an animal. He played like crazy last week, doing well for them. I think he's got to be their main part on offense, and then open it up to some Keenan Allen on your deep threats. But Austin Eckler, big part of their game plan, and Justin Herbert just needs to play better. And it's tough because you're going to play a tough defense right here in the Jets. But as long as the Jets are right there with Zach Wilson, and they don't trust in him enough to really get it deep to his receivers, that's going to be a problem. So it's going to be how well the Chargers offense can do against this tough defense. I'm going to give the Chargers the benefit of doubt just because of the weaponry they have in the quarterback. But that Jets defense, we've seen them take out some of these better teams, before, even though they struggled last week against the Giants. It could be tough here in New York.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is with the Chargers is I don't have a lot of confidence in them. We had a lot of confidence early in the season on them. We thought they were going to be one of these dominant teams in the AFC that were going to compete for a playoff spot. Now I'm not so sure.
He starts to come and then he pulls out.
Herbert's performances have been lackluster at best. And just say, like, they don't have as many weapons anymore. Injuries have gotten them offensively. Austin Eckler just returned and started to get back into the swing of things for them. Good for them. But they lost Mike Williams. He's not going to be playing. Josh Palmer, who has been their go-to guy other than Keenan Allen, is now going to be out for a little bit. And now you're replacing him with a rookie receiver who hasn't really been able to crack the lineup that much. A guy that's made mistakes too, fumbling footballs, dropping balls for gains. So I think when you really look at this offense right now, it's really Eckler and Allen, the two veterans that have to like really kind of show up and make a lot of plays this week. Otherwise, this offense I don't think is going to be able to do much. Chargers defensively, very disappointing. Bottom line, they're just very disappointing with all that talent on that side of the ball, and for them to not shut down offenses or make big time plays. I don't know what they're doing there. So with the Jets, I know their defense is good. I know their defense is solid. Sauce Gardner is healthy, and he's coming back with a vengeance. I would love to see Sauce Gardner follow Keenan Allen no matter where he goes. I don't know if that's going to be in the game plan or not, but if it is, I think that's going to really, really hurt the Chargers, in their opportunities to score. But that all being said, with the Jets defense, that defensive line is one of the best. I have to say it. They are one of the best. They create so much pressure. They stop the run. And that's really kind of what this is all going to be about, is the Jets defense, how well they play against this Chargers team. I think they're going to do well. Zach Wilson, yeah, he struggled. He definitely has struggled, but I think he's doing enough to they're winning games. And that's the thing, is like, yeah, he struggled at times. He's also made some nice plays. So I think that's what they're willing to do. They're going to lean on the defense. They're going to help Zach Wilson as much as they possibly can. And, Breece Hall, watch for him to take off this week. I mean,
Yeah.
I like the Jets being at home. The Chargers got to travel to New York. It's never an easy flight. I don't care what time the game is. And I like the Jets going to win this one.
All right, absolutely. So that'd be close. I hope it is. I really love good games here that are really tight, whether it be defensively or there's a lot of offense. I can't wait. It's going to be exciting. Joe, that's it for our show here tonight. Why don't you tell everybody else how you can find more Football on the Know show if you guys are just joining us from AFU or these other groups that we share too?
Yeah, it's real simple. I mean, do us a huge favor. Head over to YouTube for us. Hit that subscribe button. As you can see, the QR code is there. You can just kind of scan that and go right to it. Drop a subscription there. Hit the notification bells to let you guys know when we go live. You can also follow us anywhere you get your iTunes, your Spotify, anywhere your podcasts. We're there as well. Follow us. Take us on the go. Be in the know. And it'd be great if you wanted to become a member and become a know-it-all. It'd be fantastic. Just
Absolutely. We invite everybody out here, so we appreciate all the comments, all that stuff. And normally we broadcast Wednesday nights, so we definitely appreciate you guys out there. Appreciate you joining in with us too, all the people that are watching while the games are even going right now. So super excited about that. We super appreciate all that. That's it for us this Sunday, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday night.
Later.